It's hard to keep my hair out of my face. So are we live now?
Yes,
Okay.
we're live.
Great. Well, thank you. And I would like to welcome the Brisbane residents and thank you for participating in Brisbane's virtual town hall tonight. I'm joined with Councilmember Cliff Lentz, and tonight we're going to be joined by Noreen Leak, our Parks and Recreation Department Recreation Manager. She will give us an update on the city's summer programming. I'd like to share some ground rules with those who are participating with us via Zoom. All participants will be muted except for the city council members. Unmuting and muting will be controlled by the city clerk, Ingrid Padilla. You can switch off your camera at any time by hitting the video button. Please use the chat function to ask a question, which Ingrid will pass along, or the raise the hand feature in the participants tab, and Ingrid will unmute you at the appropriate time. This meeting is also being live streamed on the city's YouTube channel, where it will also be available for playback afterwards at youtube.com/BrisbaneCA. This town hall recording will also be available via the city's website, brisbaneca.org. So we'll begin the meeting. And again, thank you for participating in Brisbane Virtual Town Hall. I'm joined with Councilmember Cliff Lentz. It's now time for participation. Please click on the participants icon and click on the raise your hand button if you have questions. The city clerk can unmute you when the time is appropriate to address the group. Remember, we are streaming live on YouTube at www.youtube.com/BrisbaneCA, and the video link will be shared on the city's website, Facebook page, and onto Nextdoor for the community to watch afterwards. So with that, I'd like to kick it off with and over to Noreen Leak for an update on the programming that is going on with the summer Park and Rec.
Can you hear me?
Yep. I can.
Yeah, you can hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Thanks so much for having me on tonight. We're hoping to provide a little bit more information regarding the city's overall plans for the summer. With a heavy heart, last week we announced that we have to cancel our 2020 summer concert series, and our staff is working with the bands to reschedule them for potentially next summer. We'll also be conducting outreach to all of our sponsors to determine whether they're willing to roll over their donation to next year's series or if they would prefer a refund. So that's the first thing that's come up for us. Next up is based on the current health order as well as what we expect from future orders, and out of an abundance of caution for our staff, we are not planning to open the pool this summer. There are quite a few challenges that are around social distancing and sanitation, as well as just concern for our lifeguard and aquatics team in conducting rescues. And we are following and closely monitoring information that's coming out of the National Recreation and Parks Association, as well as CPRS and our counterparts in neighboring cities with regards to aquatic operations during this COVID crisis. We are also continuing to keep our outdoor and indoor recreational facilities closed at this time in an effort to continue to support mitigation efforts and remain aligned with our neighboring cities throughout San Mateo County. Sorry, that slide is not popped up yet, but I'm sure it will come shortly. There you go. With regards to our senior programs, we are now providing meals to seniors in the community on both Mondays and Wednesdays. The program has been extended to 2 days a week, in thanks in large part due to the Lions Club, who have made the generous donation of meals and food. We provided the first Monday service this Monday and served about 60 meals, both pickup and delivery. So thank you very much to the Lions Club for their volunteerism and their donations. We really appreciate it. And we've had a lot of feedback from our seniors expressing their gratitude. We are continuing our weekly and daily outreach phone calls to seniors within the community. We have about 80 seniors that we connect with on a weekly basis. And we are continuing to pull them regarding any additional assistance that they might need outside of what we're providing currently and outside of the resources that are available through the Brisbane COVID Response Coalition. One thing that has come up recently is we heard some feedback regarding their safety walking through the community and wearing masks. And so we're continuing to have those conversations with them about how we can best support their needs and if there's anything we can do further. Moving on to our childcare, we distributed a survey throughout the community to assess the need for childcare currently. We had 52 respondents to the survey. Approximately 70% indicated that they either need or want childcare at some point over the summer. Our team is in the early planning stages of figuring out what that might look like. As you can imagine, it's not going to look as our traditional camps do, given the restrictions that we are being forced to operate within. We are looking towards a July 6th start date, and we would run the program in 2-week sessions, which is slightly different than our traditional 1-week sessions. But in order to minimize the stability of groups, we feel that kind of is the happy medium. Based on the county health order, we will have 12 children per group, and it will be a stable group. So there will be no change between the kids within the program or the staff. We anticipate that we could operate up to 4 to 5 locations, depending on the demand for the program. And I'm working closely with the school district to expand to school sites if we have enough need to do so. We intend to utilize Mission Blue and the community center as well. Our new childcare modular is going to be placed at BES this summer, and so that's not an option for us to utilize our traditional camp location, but we feel confident that we could operate potentially 4 to 5 sites with the support of the school district. Obviously, there would be no field trips, no trips to the pool, so it would be very different. A lot of the feedback from the survey from parents is that they have a very strong desire to understand our general policies and procedures regarding health and safety to ensure their wellness and just to have a greater understanding of what we're doing in the way of sanitation. As a parent of young children myself, I can certainly understand how important that is for a parent in making this decision. So we are in the process of drafting a handbook that will outline our general policies and procedures around those things. It's reflective of the CDC guidelines as well as county health standards. So we hope to put out that information to the public so that they can make decisions regarding whether or not to enroll their children. We are also in communication with a few of the contingency childcare sites that have been in operation since COVID started, mostly for essential workers, but trying to glean as much information as possible from them regarding their operations so that we have that information to work from. Our staff is also participating in weekly countywide calls to benchmark with other agencies throughout the county as well. So as mentioned, it won't be a typical summer for us. But we will try to provide a high quality experience for the families that are enrolled regardless. We will most likely be conducting health scans as suggested through the CDC and the county health order, as well as following cleaning and sanitizing procedures. Most likely, we've talked about kids having their own set of supplies so that we can minimize the transfer of germs for standard supplies such as scissors and markers and glue and all the basics. We feel that it's really important to reiterate to those that are considering enrolling their children that there is an additional inherent risk that comes with having their children participate in a group childcare setting at this point. There's verbiage from the May 4th health order that we intend to share with parents during the registration process. And there may also be an additional liability waiver that we ask them to sign as well, acknowledging that they understand that there is an additional risk, although we intend to do everything in our power to alleviate their concerns and provide a safe and secure program for their child. We understand that many parents are just not feeling that they are ready to place their children in a child care program at this time, but our goal is to be there for those that need it and try to meet the demand for childcare that we're hearing from the community right now. So our team is very much looking forward to getting back to doing what they love and to continuing to serve the families of the Brisbane community.
Thank you, Noreen. And I do apologize. I had my slides out of order. So I did want to mention, and then we'll go to Councilmember Lentz's comments, that we are following the county's recommendation and determining how best to apply them to our own city operations. And we'll continue to do so with each updated health order. And that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we're urging people to participate in one of San Mateo County free virtual May Mental Health Awareness Month events listed at bit.ly/2020 MHAM. Space is limited. And then to encourage everyone to maintain your well-being through regular self-care, preventing burnouts, reducing the negative effects of stress, and helps you to refocus. And it doesn't have to cost a thing. So there is a self-care bingo that is on the website. And we will then hear from Councilmember Lentz, a little out of turn, for his comments on what's going on with COVID in our area.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. Hi, everyone. Hope you're well and your families are doing fine and everyone's staying healthy and in good spirits. We're definitely in trying times, but what's great about living in Brisbane is that we all pull together and we try and help each other out. So, before I go into these slides, I did want to just ask a couple of questions to you, Noreen. And first of all, kudos to you and your staff for keeping the community engaged and trying to keep things fun, right? And we know, sure, summer in Brisbane isn't going to be the same, but it's still a great place to get out, right? Go hike on the mountain. Families can still play at the playgrounds. And we'll have this childcare that'll be modified, but the 12 kids is still a decent amount of kids being able to gather. So I hope that your collaboration with the school district is really engaging, and you guys try and find all the creative options that are available to be able to provide that service to any kid and any family that wants it. I'm glad that you talked about the risks. Yes, we're going to do everything that we can to make it safe, but as the county health inspector has said, you can only do so much, and there is that risk of exposure, and everyone just has to be aware of that. So yeah,
Yeah.
so, yeah, just, yeah, it's unfortunate that we have to, conduct ourselves that way, but we want to be safe, right? And we, we want to get through this pandemic in a way that we all come out on the other side still, healthy and alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, you talked about the pool, not opening up through the summer, and the county health inspector has mentioned that pools are going to be open starting on Monday, but with restrictions. And but the reasons why we should keep the pool closed in Brisbane are really smart and responsible. And so I know that perhaps there could be some people in town that are going to give you a call and say, hey, what, Millbrae or San Mateo has their pool open. How come our pool is closed? And but yeah, if we can just keep like repeating why we're doing what we're doing, is because we want to keep not only our constituents, our community members safe, but also the staff too. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
kind of, yeah.
Excuse me, I do have a raised hand from Michelle
Okay.
about this issue. I'm gonna.
About the
Is it
pool.
okay for me to unmute her now, or?
Just let me just finish about this slide that
Okay.
I think is important. Kind of reiterates, why we're doing that. Why we have that decision for the pool. And so these are the new numbers of the confirmed cases. Now, everyone needs to understand that the amount of testing that has been done in San Mateo County has not been very robust, right? There's a lot more cases in the county than what has been confirmed through testing. And however, you can see that Brisbane is highlighted. We have less than 10 cases, which, us in Colma have the least amount of cases in the county in regards to cities. There are some unincorporated districts that are in the same boat, like Broadmoor, but as far as cities go, it's Brisbane and Colma. Granted, we are smaller, but the actions that we have taken as a community, whether it's from City Hall or from our school districts or our businesses, everyone is being responsible and doing the right thing, and because of that, our cases are much lower, and of course we hope to keep it that way. So yeah, I just wanted to share that bit of information with everyone, and then yeah, let's open it up to Michelle for that question.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. It's really about the pool. I've thought long and hard about this, and I'm not making these comments lightly at all. I understand the risks, and I've read all the documentation, and I am, making masks as we speak. But there are many of us, especially seniors, who really have depended on the pool for our health and well-being. And I've noticed a definite decline in my mobility and health because I don't have access to our water aerobics class. And I can't go out and walk a mile or two or hike up the hill like I used to. I just don't have the knees for it anymore. But I also understand the dangers. And the most dangerous part of the pool is the locker room and paying for your pool or giving your ticket. And I've actually thought about this a lot, and I'm hoping that we could consider a limited amount of opening of the pool to residents only, people who are willing to pay online for a pass that is held at the pool, and that we don't use the locker room at all except in emergencies to use the restroom, but that would be on a very limited basis. And that we do not enter through the building, but we enter through one of the gates where a person that works at the pool can remotely mark you off that you've come, and possibly even make appointments that you keep for, 15-minute or half-hour lap swim, or for water aerobics class or an exercise class. And I hope that we can really consider that. If we are considering having actual childcare classes for 12 children and staff members, which I think is pretty high risk. I'm not a parent, but if I was, I probably wouldn't have my child do that. It's been shown that the coronavirus does not survive in the pool water. So really the risk is around the paying for or handing your pass to get marked off and the locker room. And most people in Brisbane can handle going home in a wetsuit and taking your shower or whatever at home. So I'd really, for the benefit of the health of the people who depend on the pool, like I do, that we can consider a very limited residents only program to be able to use the pool strictly for exercise, not for any social gathering, not for any hanging out, not for laying around in the sun, strictly for exercise. And I know you can't answer this now, but I'd really like you to take it under consideration. I've thought about it long and hard before even bringing this up. I think we're in a very precarious position health-wise, and I fully support all of the shelter in place, the social distancing, definitely the wearing of masks and washing of hands. So just please consider it as a health issue. I need that exercise that I can't get on dry land. So I know there are many others who are in the same situation. Thank you so much for letting me say my piece. That's it. And Noreen, you are doing such an excellent job. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle, for that feedback about the pool. And yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that Noreen and Clay and other staff folks will take that information and evaluate. So thank you much. Thank you very much for speaking up about it tonight.
I think that everyone on staff and is going to be looking for ways to give city services that right now we can't, and finding ways to make them safe and available in any way we can as things change, because what's going on with COVID and the shelter in place is such a fluid endeavor right now to keep it under control, that we're all learning different things and different behaviors every day and trying to find workarounds to make all of us and our entire community safe. So thank you, Noreen, for what you're doing and what the rest of staff is doing to help protect our community in the best way that we know how under these times. So thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then Noreen, I'm glad that you showed that slide of the senior lunch, that occurred, and there were 60 lunches. That's amazing. How many lunches do you typically serve when the seniors meet at the community center?
On an average basis, it's about 20 to 25.
Okay,
So
great.
It's great that we've been able to reach that many people.
And then you'll continue to have those services throughout the shelter in place?
Yeah, as long as we have the support and the resources from the Lions Club, as well as Samaritan House, as long as they have the resources to do it, we're willing to continue to help to deliver that service. That
is awesome. And then, I guess a couple of weeks ago, Councilmember Davis, she had a birthday party. And it was a Zoom birthday party, and we all played bingo. And I know how much seniors love to play bingo. Are we doing a Zoom type bingo for our seniors?
That was an option that we explored early on because we were hearing from them that they missed the socialization of bingo and the prizes. They love the prizes. But unfortunately, most of them are uncomfortable with Zoom technology, and they don't have the resources to participate in that way. We've been brainstorming internally with our team about how we could do like a block by block bingo. We've actually done Zoom bingo with our after school club rec kids. So we've tested it out doing it that way, but it doesn't seem that the seniors are able with the technology demands to participate in something like that.
Okay. Do you, I mean, you're not the health inspector, but, do you think that there could be potentially, one day, not too far in the distant future where, maybe some seniors are online and some seniors show up at the community center, but they're spaced, appropriately. So, then you could do the combination kind of, like how we're doing childcare. We have guidelines in place.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's our hope to be able to engage as many residents as we possibly can and meet their, social and emotional needs as well as their physical needs. I anticipate with this phased return to normalcy that, it might be such that we can have a handful of people at the community center or at Mission Blue or at the Sunrise Room, with the remainder of people participating virtually from home. So our team is well versed in the use of technology. Fortunately, I have a fairly spry staff and they're very comfortable implementing different technology solutions to deliver services. And so I think that's definitely something that we could explore for the future.
Fabulous. And then just one last thing, Noreen. So, you mentioned our response coalition, and whenever there was a request, I would get an email letting me know what that is because I'm also volunteering, and then I'd see that request was taken care of. But I haven't seen very many recently. Are we just not getting that many responses or requests?
There haven't been as many. It's definitely tapered off since we rolled out BCRC. The requests are kind of few and far between. And I think at this point, they're able to match people up a little bit better one-on-one without blasting out to everybody. But there are some instances where they still do. And I think Sharon Boggs is the primary person still on that with the support of our staff kind of fielding those requests. But there haven't been very many.
All right. I didn't notice, but is Sharon on the call?
Yes, Sharon's on the call. I also have two questions for the group.
Okay.
You want me to unmute Sharon now? She also has a question about, are the majority of issues that they don't have the tools, computers, meaning if they could have access, would they use it? I guess that's in regards to the bingo technology.
I think somewhat it's somewhat infrastructure and it's somewhat just a lack of comfortability with utilizing technology. So it's probably a combination of both.
Okay. And then another question for Noreen is, JC wanted to know, did Noreen give an estimated start date of the summer camp to be July? Was that correct?
Yeah, we're looking towards a start date of July 6th.
I'm going to go ahead and unmute Sharon.
To answer your question about need, we actually have 33 people now that we've worked with. And today I just sent out another request for help. And what's happening is people that need help, things like getting groceries or going to the doctor, we have the most amazing town in the world. The people that volunteer to help them initially take them on. They give them their phone number. They tell them from now on if you need something. So 33 people have needed help. None of them have been repeat needers because those volunteers have taken care of them. So what we've been doing a lot of is undercover work, and that, I mean, we've been finding out who our families in need are, and then approaching them and then connecting them with Peter Steeler. So that's been happening through BCRC. We've also been finding out who our frontline workers are and who the people are that are first responders and grocery workers and people that are delivering to us and helping us. And we've been actually, we have people out in town donating money to get certificates from businesses in town. And we've been taking those certificates, and I've been doing handwritten cards and addressing them to those frontline workers, and then different Lions, mostly Dan Sorrentino, has been delivering them to them so that they get, every 10 days, they get a card saying, thanks again, we really appreciate you, with a gift certificate, about $25 to different restaurant or a different business in Brisbane. So we're helping the businesses, we're helping them, and we're doing a lot of things that aren't necessarily now going through the volunteers as much anymore, because we can always use more. I don't mean it that way. I mean, I hope we don't have more. Let me be clear, but we can always use more if people know of people that need help, or if you direct them to the site. We have the capacity to help many people, but I don't think it's a useless thing right now. And as a matter of fact, I could see it going on beyond this, just as an opportunity for people that need help to reach out. So thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome, Sharon. Thank you so much for all the hard work that you're doing, and you know, the other volunteers too. Yeah, you're right. You know, what you and the Lions do is just incredible, and it is one of the wonderful things that you know, makes us all proud living in Brisbane. You know, it looks a little cold where you're at, so stay warm.
Councilmember Lentz and Mayor O'Connell, we also have a question from a participant. I believe the question is for Noreen.
Great. Steve Matei here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Thanks. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here, and thanks for holding this forum. I just wanted to add a couple of points to the fine comments that Michelle made relative to the swimming pool. I'm a resident of Brisbane, a senior citizen, and have depended very heavily on the pool as a source of exercise and good health. And I fully understand the difficulties and challenges, and it's not an easy task. And my hat's off to Noreen and all the good work she's doing. But I just wanted to suggest that if there's any way to creatively allow exercise programs, but especially lap swimming, I think there's a large group of people who would just love to have that opportunity. And I don't know if it has to be done by, Michelle even mentioned, appointment only, or dealing with some sort of separation in locker rooms so that swimmers can't even use the locker room, must come ready to swim and just go right out to the pool. I just really encourage some sort of creativity to make sure the pool gets back in service as quickly as possible. I think it's really health, very important to the health, and especially I believe to the citizens. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Steve.
Yes, thank you.
So, Noreen, Ingrid, could you skip to the next slide? But I'm sorry, and then the one after that, and we'll go back to this one. There you go. Yeah, because I think it ties in with, you know, what Sharon had just said. You know, providing food security for folks that are in need. And so, you know, last Thursday, myself and my wife and daughters, we volunteered at Jefferson High School, and we showed up at 10:30. Volunteers were there at 8 o'clock, you know, getting things set up. And so Jefferson Union High School, in partnership with Second Harvest Food Bank, is providing food that's packed in boxes, and they distribute it to anyone that shows up. And so it's you know, one package per person. So it could be 2 boxes. The ones that we did on Thursday, one box had produce in it, the other box had milk and some other items. And it's run very efficiently, and it's a great way to give back. So if there are folks who want to volunteer, you'll reach out to me. I'll give you my my contact information. My email address is cliffordlentz@gmail.com, and my cell phone is 650-219-0293. And then I can connect you with the person that coordinates the volunteering. But yeah, this program is great. You just drive up. You would need to show up early. The last person who was able to get food, once they distribute the 1,200 packages, that's it. And the last person who showed up for the pickup was at 10:30 in the morning, and the last box was given at 12:30. So it's about a 2-hour event. You know, you stay in your car the entire time. Once they open up the gates at 10 o'clock, at 11 o'clock, it moves very, very quickly, and we get rid of 1,200, really 2,400 boxes in a matter of less than 2 hours. So it was pretty impressive there. And then Bayshore also has their food distribution, and they're also looking for volunteers. Their process is on Friday mornings. And then you can see from the slide, there's some other options as well. And there's that phone number from the Second Harvest Food Bank, which, is such an amazing and valuable resource, for the entire, peninsula, San Mateo County and Santa Clara County. And then Noreen, Ingrid, if we could go back to the other slide. So one of the things that was announced today, and there's been a lot of chatter, at the county level, is the ability to get tested. And so the county is in full engagement to get everybody in the county tested. Before it was essential workers and first responders, and then if you had some kind of if you had certain conditions, then you were allowed to get tested. Now everyone can be tested. And Clay, you and I were talking about this earlier today, and I was hoping that you could share a little bit more of the details of how people can sign up to get tested and where they can go locally. That's going to happen next week.
Sure. So I think it's on the slide right there is the people click on that, and we'll have I believe we're going to have this on our website, and you can just go on there and sign up. I think you do it through a Gmail account if you have one. I'm told it's very simple to do. It takes just a matter of a couple minutes, and there will be testing site in Daly City next Wednesday and Thursday. There's also one down at the County Event Center on Monday and Tuesday if people want to go down there. But the one in Daly City, we will place the actual location as soon as we get that verified. We've been in contact with the Daly City staff this afternoon, and we'll hear about that hopefully in the next day or so, where exactly in Daly City that's going to take place. But people are, as you heard today with the health officer, he is really encouraging people to take the test, not so much for our own individual information and interest, but it's the way he gets composite data from the larger population and can make good decisions on what he's recommending or what he orders in his health orders. So it's maybe more of a civic duty at this point than taking care of yourself. But that is the information. We will have that on the website. And again, there will be the location in Daly City next Wednesday and Thursday that people can go. And I'm told that it's a fairly quick process in terms of either to sign up or more importantly, when you go to Daly City to do the testing.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned about the test itself. So the old test was, you think of back, to that welcome back Carter, up your nose with a rubber hose type deal. And that's no longer the case now. Now it's a very simple, much less intrusive procedure. The other one was somewhat painful. And I think that also discouraged people from getting tested. Now this one's super easy, hardly intrusive at all. And I think you're right about the civic duty. The more people who get tested, the more data that is collected, then that information can be used by the county health inspector to make better decisions in how you open up society and the economy. So I really hope that people take advantage of getting tested sooner than later. So thank you for that.
I think on the if you click on that website, they also actually have a little video that shows you what the test is like. So if anybody has concerns about it, you can actually see what it would be. And as you indicated, it's a fairly simple procedure.
Awesome. All right.
I thought I
Nice.
saw a raised hand from Michelle. I'm not sure if that was the case.
Can I,
Oh, go ahead, Mayor.
did the county make it evident on how many tests that they were planning to have available for this program?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're geared up to take as many people as they can get, and they have mentioned how many they do have like a daily goal. Do you recall, Cliff, what that was? I'm thinking it was as much as a couple thousand a day that they were trying to get tests on.
I think that's right. I think that is around the number, Clay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then also, Clay, if you can verify this, that the test does not cost someone money, right? It's a free test.
It's free. Yeah, we verified that it is free.
Okay, great.
You have a raised hand from Michelle.
Yeah, I just want to remind people that getting tested is definitely a community benefit, but you can get tested and be negative and then be careless or have contact and be a carrier again, a day later. So it's a double-edged sword. Don't be thinking it's a pass go for free card because you tested negative. So just remain vigilant. Remain vigilant. That's all I can say. That's it.
Yeah, that's consistent with what the health officer was telling us. It's composite data for the community on an individual basis. It really should not tell you too much about what you should or should not do.
And a follow-up question on the chat here. Are there any antibody tests yet?
None that the health officer is supporting at this point.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of tests out there, but the county health inspector is working with Stanford. They're conducting a study to take that information and then be able to utilize that data to create policy. And yeah, right at this time, yeah, it's just gathering information and trying to find the best tools to be able to see if antibody testing can be beneficial in determining future decisions. So yeah, it's really it's still a wait and see.
Great, thank you. So do we have any other people that are waiting to ask a question? So
Let's
thank
see.
you
Oh,
again
Michelle,
for participating.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Michelle just raised her hand. I'll unmute
Okay.
her now.
I do have one more question. Is it okay to go ahead and put through go requests now if it's a individual task that a city worker could handle? I've hesitated to put through any go requests because I don't want to put anybody at risk, but there are some various things that I'm seeing around town that could really be addressed by individual public, by an individual worker. For one thing, I've noticed that the doggy boxes aren't being kept full of baggies for puppies, and puppies are walking a whole lot more. And certain things like that that I just see when I'm on the when I do go around town. So
Yeah,
I don't want to put through a go request if if it's not appropriate or it's not good, it's going to put anybody at risk. But
no. Thanks, Michelle. This is Clay. Yeah, the go request system has been in place throughout this entire process, and we do encourage people to send go request in. I'll attend to the doggy bag issue first thing in the morning, but the anything that people see, please put them through the go request system. The issue had been we had a reduced staffing in public works maintenance up until May 4th. We're now back to the full staffing, or at least the full staffing with the people we have currently on employed with us. So hopefully we will be able to get to those things in a more timely fashion, so that it was never an issue of not doing things. It was just an issue of the timing of doing things.
well, I hated to ask about stuff like, oh, wow, there's ivy on that tree that we cleared last year and stuff like that when it's,
Yeah, no,
you know.
and I appreciate that, but please don't feel reticent about getting those kinds of go requests in. We appreciate those.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Clay. And I so appreciate what the staff does. They're just absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
We also have a question or a raised hand from Sharon.
I just want to thank you guys because I look forward to this on Wednesdays. I just look forward to touching base and knowing what's happening and hearing from all of you. So thank you for continuing this.
For sure.
you're
Yeah,
welcome.
sometimes you wonder, are people watching, how many people care? And, but when we get a comment like you just did, Sharon, it just, it fires you up, and it makes you want to just, continue to do your job the best you can and provide as much information to the community as possible. So thank you.
Yes, everyone in the staff and the community has really come together to make this as painless as it can be. And there's people in the community that are going out and going above and beyond the normal. And for these abnormal times, I think that is really wonderful. So we should wrap it up. If there's anyone else who would like to raise their hand and ask a question of Noreen or Councilmember Lentz or myself or of staff in general, please go ahead and do that now.
Madam Mayor, if there isn't any more requests, I do have one more question for Clay, and that's on the library. So, so the easing of restrictions from the county health inspector, one of which was involving construction. So I guess now pretty much all construction is okay as long as certain social distancing guidelines are enacted. So the library construction workers are going to come back to the job site and start working on our new library. Yeah, the contract was kind of reactivated this past week. I think last week there was a little slowness in terms of getting it geared back up again. That can be everything from getting subcontractors on site to just for the company just getting geared up for the new normal.
I think for all the construction companies, there's a certain startup process here for them, and they have to kind of learn some new procedures and stuff. And so I think all of them are a little bit slow. But the contract is up and running. The only thing I don't really have at the moment that we're trying to get as soon as we can is a schedule when we should get that completed. I know we're all over anxious at this point to have the new library up and running, and I'm hoping that with that we can get that sometime later this year. And we have the current library, as we all know, is closed throughout the county and will remain closed for the time being, although they're hoping to do some things like curbside pickup of books and things of that nature, and have a little bit more presence. They have a lot of online presence right now that for people to go and use their services. But I'm hoping that we can kind of blend the schedule of when the libraries can start really opening up to the public, and our new library being able to be open later this year, hopefully.
Great, thanks, Clay.
Thank you. Good question. So if we have no one else, I think we should wrap this meeting up. And I want to thank all the participants and our staff and Councilmember Lentz, Recreation Manager Noreen Leak, City Manager Clay Holstein, and thank everyone for joining us this evening. Please also sign up for our weekly blast at www.brisbaneca.org to get the latest news about our next town hall. And I wish all of you to be well and to stay safe. And thank you all for participating.
Yeah, thank you for participating. Have a good weekend. Take care.
Thank you.